So, I already gone over the 5 levels that I can't wait to see remade in Spongebob Rehydrated. Now it's time for the 5 bosses that I can't wait to see. Let's discuss it. How's it going, everyone? Blueknight here, and welcome back to yet another SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated video. Well, it's kind of a follow-up to my last Top 5 SpongeBob video, which I highly recommend checking out if you haven't already. It's linked to the card at the top of the screen. Once again, Gamescom is next week with our first footage of Rehydrated coming on Wednesday. So that's why I wanted to go ahead and get this video out. So without further ado, let's start with the top 5 bosses that I can't wait to see in Rehydrated. Quick note, I'm not counting restored cut content like the Robo Squidward boss, as I'm only referring to the bosses in the original Battle for Bikini Bottom that will be in Rehydrated.
5! You do the rest, buddy!
Prawn. In this game, Prawn is Mermaid Man's arch enemy, rather than one of the other villains in the show that he mentions in the boss intro cutscene, like Man Ray. Prawn is at number 5, well, not because I dislike the character, I actually quite like this boss, and the short backstory that we got between Mermaid Man and Prawn.
He put all of Mermaid Man's white clothes in the washer, with a red sock.
Everything I own turned pink! Pink!
Like I said in my previous video, Prawn is the trickiest mini-boss in the game, with lots of obstacles like hammer bots and sound waves. The flashing floor lights are easily avoidable, but in order to use the bubble bowl on Prawn, you must wait for an opening in them. In the progress, the sounds coming from them add onto the music for its own unique take on the track. Robot Sandy, the first main boss battle in the game. The Robot Sandy boss battle takes place in the Poseidon, which first appeared in the episode Neptune's Spatula along with King Neptune. This boss is very straightforward, as mostly all you have to do is to keep your distance and wait for the boss to pounce, then slam the ground, which in turn causes the robot's head to keep coming off. But with each round, the boss adds new abilities and gets smarter. Well, maybe not so smarter. Now, in terms of humor and references, this is the boss that's got the most of both than the other bosses, including Patrick's "Look, it's a giraffe" line from Bubble Stand and not taking the battle completely seriously. Overall, this boss is both simple and easy, which is understandable for the first main boss in the game.
3! Take it or leave it!
Robot Patrick. This boss takes place in the Industrial Park, which first appeared in the Pre-Hibernation Week episode. The main goal is to rescue Squidward after being frozen by Robot Patrick's ice breath, only for SpongeBob to get frozen as well, leaving Sandy to free them both. Robot Patrick is more difficult than Robot Sandy due to more ranged abilities and being unable to reach this boss at certain points due to the arena being covered in goo the more you progress. Then, the only way to deal any damage is by bubble bowling the weak spot on his back, after getting him dizzy first. Another detail that I really like about this boss battle is not so much the boss itself. It's the darker environment like that of the Flying Dutchman's graveyard, although slightly less ominous or spooky looking. The Flying Dutchman. This boss may be part of my number 1 level in the game, but the boss still managed to come in at number 2 for this list, for multiple reasons, including the aforementioned part of my number 1 level bit. One reason being that he's the only spooky themed boss in the game, and him teleporting around from one side of the arena to another just adds on to that. Another reason being is that this is one of the very few instances where Sandy actually interacts with the Dutchman in some way. Last reason being is that out of all the Flying Dutchman bosses in SpongeBob games, this one's easily the best of all of them. I should also point out that both of the Dutchman's abilities are taken directly from the Shanghai episode. So I'd say they went a little further with the references with this mini-boss than the other bosses. Number 1. Robot Spongebob. This boss is definitely the most complex boss in the entirety of the game, with the most abilities that constantly get added with each phase, and also gets faster with each phase, making it the hardest boss in the game. Not only that, it's the only boss in the game that is fought only by Spongebob, has 2 sections, and a secondary-ish boss with Robot Plankton, which sort of reminds me of the Dr. Cortex boss from Crash Twinsanity. Once you hit each weak point in as many ways possible, and Robot Spongebob becomes Robo Muscle Bob Buff Pants, you then enter the second stage, which takes you inside of Robot Spongebob. Basically what you do in here is simple. Take out the waves of robots and avoid Robot Plankton, all while destroying all of Robot SpongeBob's fuses, which allows you to finish the game and celebrate. Well, maybe not. This boss theme matches the final battle perfectly, as it sets up this grand finale to this fantastic game. And it's definitely up there with my top final boss themes in gaming overall. Now, if I could add something to these boss battles, it'd be at least 2 things. One is the ability to toggle on or off the fish announcer during the main boss battles, as he can get annoying sometimes. Second thing I'd add is voice lines for the bosses during the boss battles. This would be a small feature that would bring more life into the game's bosses. Anyways guys, this is yet again the end of another video. And what do you think about this? What bosses are you excited to see the most in SpongeBob Rehydrated? Be sure to let me know in the comment section below. And once again everyone, thanks so much for watching and supporting the channel. I've been Blueknight, and I'll see you guys back here next time. Goodbye.